Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So I put up a poll on my community tab asking if you wanted to see a get ready with me where I showcase a look for a mother of the bride or the groom, or just this can also be for just a wedding guest. And I asked you if you wanted to see it in drugstore affordable makeup or high-end, and drugstore won by a landslide. So I am going to create that for you today. Now I've had plenty of practice because I have two children, a daughter and a son, and they've both been married twice. So my son with his current wife got married twice, once in November, and he did that with the Justice of the Peace here in Tampa so that we could celebrate it with our family here in Tampa. And then the following year in June, my husband and I and him and his kids and her daughter, we went to Colombia, and they got married by the Catholic Church in Colombia so that her family could be there. So anyways, yes, I've had 5 weddings just between my kids that I have done this for. I've always done my own makeup. I've tried getting my makeup done by a professional and I haven't liked it, so I ended up spending money for no reason, going home, washing my face and redoing my makeup. This video is going to be a little longer. I'm going to try to speed through it as much as I can, but unfortunately it's going to be a little longer because I want to cover everything with you. Because it's not just the makeup you put on. You have to make sure that your face is properly prepped. And if you do not wear skincare and you have a wedding coming up, you need to start wearing skincare. I think that is so important. It doesn't matter how good your makeup is, how expensive it is, the ingredients in your makeup. If your face is not prepped correctly, it's not going to look right on your face. You need to hydrate your face and you need to take care of it. What I would do is the day before, I would definitely, like fix my brows, make sure there's any stray little hairs. I would take care of those. I will also dermaplane my face, and I never dermaplane my face on just a dry face. I usually put like a light moisturizer or a face oil or something, and then I dermaplane it because otherwise it can get too close to your skin, and I feel that maybe you can do some damage. So that the razor moves a lot easier going through your skin, and that works perfectly for me. Also, I suggest that when you apply your skincare the day of, you take your time. You let your skincare sink in before you apply your SPF. If it's an evening wedding, a night wedding, I won't even wear SPF if you don't need it. But if it's during the day, you definitely do. I wouldn't overdo it with your skincare either. Depending. If you have dry skin, you're going to need a little more. If you have oily skin, you're going to need a little less. I have normal skin, a little oily in my T-zone and the Florida heat. But pretty much it's normal. So what I use today, I use my Prequel. This is a multi-quench hydration mist. I absolutely love this. The sprayer is a little aggressive, but I'm doing it on a bare skin after I wash my face. This is the first thing I spray, and I really do enjoy it. It has really good ingredients in it. And then I use the Prequel Multi-Quench Plumping Hydration Serum. Also has excellent ingredients in it. Then the only moisturizer that I used is this one right here from Prequel. This is a half and half peptide ceramized fluid moisturizer. I love this. It's like a milky moisturizer. It's not heavy at all, but it does give you hydration. And then over that, since I'm doing it during the day, I did use my Mineral Sun Glow, and this actually has, this is a broad spectrum 43, but this actually has vitamin C, peptides, it has black, red, and brown rice extract. So this is like a moisturizer, sunscreen, primer, all in one. And of course, I have an eye cream. Okay, so I feel like my face is pretty hydrated. Now, it's been a while since I did my skincare, so I'm going to take just a little bit more of the eye gel, and I'm just going to apply a little bit under my eyes, just because my eyes are very, very dry. So I'm going to apply that while I do a little bit of primer. So I want to use this one right here. This works really well by Hard Candy. This is a Sweat Unlock Primer. Now, again, if your wedding is going to be outside, if it's going to be during the day, if you're going to be exposed to a lot of heat, and you tend to get oily, or you feel like your makeup may not last as long, I would go with something like this. This feels hydrating when you're putting it on. It is not a heavy primer, And I think it does a great job. It really, really does. I feel like my makeup stays on. Once it dries down, it kind of feels velvety on your face, so it's not sticky at all. I feel like it's a little blurring, but since this is a wedding, I do go the extra mile. So I love this primer from Tarte. This is the Timeless Smoothing Primer, and I like to grab just a little bit of this. It's like a cream, but it's like kind of thick. You don't need a lot. I just grabbed a little bit, and I'm going to just put it between my fingers, and I'm just going to put it like right here where I have the most enlarged pores. Okay, whatever's left over on my finger, I'm going to put it on my forehead, but I really don't feel like my forehead is a problem. And then the other side, and this one does not peel with foundation or anything like that. It looks really smooth. It dries right away. Already my primer is dry, and like I said, it feels velvety, almost like a little powdery. It feels really, really good on the face. Okay, so as far as foundations, I mean, it depends. I would try to stay away from a foundation that has SPF, or at least I would try it beforehand. Now, this is not the time to try anything new, okay? When you're going to be going to a special occasion like that, you need to play with your makeup, whatever you're planning on using, and you need to make sure that it looks good, and that's what you want to wear. This is not the time to buy a new foundation, a new concealer, a new mascara, nothing like that, and try it for the first time. That is definitely not a good idea. So Maybelline, I like the Maybelline Super Stay. This is a 30-hour wear. Would I wear that for 30 hours? No. I wear it in the shade 120, and this is like a, I think it gives you kind of like a satin finish. It says Lumi Matte, and I think that's the kind of finish that you get. I don't think it's really Lumi. I don't think it's really matte, but it has a really nice finish, and it's pretty much medium. You can build it up to almost full. And if you have dry skin, I would say the Maybelline Super Stay 24-hour Skin Tint. Let's say Skin Tint. This is a foundation. This has great, amazing coverage, but this is a little more glowy than this one here. So I would go with either one. None of these have SPF, I don't believe, no. But if you're gonna pick something up that has SPF, try it beforehand, take a flash picture, and make sure that you don't have flashback. That's the thing with SPF, you can get flashback. That goes the same with any powder or anything like that that you put on that has SPF on it. So that's just FYI. Use whatever foundation you love. The e.l.f. Soft Glam foundation is a beautiful one. The L'Oreal Lumi is a beautiful one. So it's just whatever your preference is, whatever foundation you feel comfortable with, and whatever coverage you feel comfortable with. I feel like I need almost full coverage because of my hyperpigmentation. So I'm going to start with a little bit of corrector, and this one is the one from Morphe, and I have this one in the shade 02 Peach, and I'm just going to put a little bit. This has a humongous doe-foot, by the way. I'm going to put a little bit there because my inner corner is very, very dark, and a little bit there. And then I'm also going to add a little bit to where my hyperpigmentation is, a little bit, right? So I'm going to take this brush right here and work the corrector where my hyperpigmentation is. This will help it look a little lighter, or my skin will look a little more even. And normally I don't do this, but this is, like I said, a special occasion, so we want to go the extra mile, right? Especially if you're the mother of the bride or the groom. You want your makeup to look as beautiful as possible. You want to look as beautiful as possible. My daughter and I went to the beach for a couple of days. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. The water was amazing. The place that we went to, it was for adults only, so there were no kids splashing around. Not that I have anything against kids. I go to the beach plenty of times with my grandkids. If it's just, you know, adults going to relax and have a nice time, sometimes you don't want to be splashed in the pool, right? As far as concealers, if you have a concealer that you love, that's what I would go with. One that you feel that works for you, for your skin type. I'm going to use the NYX Bear With Me concealer, but this is a serum concealer. Now, you have to be careful because a little goes a long ways. You don't need a lot. You can always add more. My motto when it comes to makeup is a little, start, you know, with a little bit, and then you can always add more. it's kind of hard to take it away. So again, I'm going to put a little bit right there in that corner. I'm going to put some there. But you don't need a lot. This goes a long way. It is a serum concealer, but I find that if I overdo it, if I put too much, it can crease on me. Everything is going to crease. I have creases, but I don't want my under eye to look like a road map. That's what I'm trying to stay away from. And you know what I mean. When, you know, it's okay to have little creases, but sometimes with some concealers that look so dry that you just have all these lines that you can see, and you can see the dryness under your eyes. And that's what I call a road map under my eyes. And I do not like that. So I try to put as little as possible. And I try not to go really close to my, right under my lash line, because that's where most of my concealer creases. So I try to stay away from it, but most of it, like down here, where my dark circles are. And they're hard to cover. You can still see it, but you know there's only so much that you can do. And also, if you put too much, then it's going to look cakey, and it's not going to look nice. So do you rather have a little bit of darkness, or would you rather look cakey and too much makeup on? So I'll take a little bit of darkness. I may add a little more later if I see that it's not creasing or anything. After I'm done with my foundation, I may add a little more. But right now, I'm going to leave it like that. But as you can see, this is like a full coverage concealer. But you can still see a little bit of that. So I am going to use this one today. Again, I'm using this in the shade 120. And I'm just going to put a pump on the back of my hand. And I'm going to try to use as little as possible. And then just add a little bit to the areas that I feel that I need a little more coverage. So I'm going to speed through the part where I am just blending it on my face, because you'll be able to see what I'm doing. You know what? I'm going to move you up a little bit so you can see a little better. I'm going to grab what's left in the back of my hand, put it on the back, put it on my brush, and just apply right there. Now I'm going to put something on my lips just to hydrate them, and this is the Essence Glow Serum, and I'll tell you guys how good this is. This is only $6.99. Now the only thing is you twist it, but you have to be careful because you can get a lot out. So just take out a little bit just to hydrate the lips. And I don't go straight into this because it's so big. Who needs a surface that big? It's ridiculous. All right, so now we're going to go with blush. Why don't we do the bronzer? The one from Morphe, and this is in the shade Maui Surf. I think this is the second shade up. It's not the lightest one, but it's not the darkest one. They have like 4 or 5 different options. And again, you have the cream and you have the powder. They do have like a little lid on the cream so the powder doesn't get in there. But this is really pretty. I feel like this is very neutral. It's not orangey at all. It looks beautiful on the skin. It lasts all day. I normally don't powder a cream blush, but since I want it to last, I will powder it today. So I'm just going to use this brush right here. This is from REPHR, and this is the LC02. And I'm just going to go just a little bit. I don't want to do a lot. And you just want to make sure that everything that you're doing, make sure that it's blended well. You want everything to look nice and smooth. And these are so easy to apply. And I go a little at a time. I don't add a lot at a time. You guys know that's how I like to do it, because I'd rather build than regret. And I'm going to grab a little bit on my pinky and put a little bit on my lower lip. And I'm going to grab a little, not a lot, just a little. I don't like for anyone to be able to see a dark line under my chin, but just a tiny bit. All right, so now for the blush. So I'm going to wipe that brush that I just used. These brushes from REPHR, they don't absorb any of the product. They are amazing. I love them. So I'm going to take the cream, and I picked this one because this is more of like a neutral color, and for a wedding or special occasion, I like to keep everything more neutral than super you know, colorful. I try not to, you know, go overboard with my blush, which I tend to do a lot. But also you have to remember there's a fine line. You have to wear enough makeup so when they take your picture, you can see it. Because when they take flash photography, you're going to lose some of that. So you need to make sure that you don't wear too much where you're going to look clownish, but that you wear enough so that it will show up in pictures. And since I'm going to top this off with a powder blush, I'm not going to put a lot of the cream on, because I don't want it to be too much of the cream and then the blush is going to be too much. So I'm going to let that set for a little bit. And these are long lasting. Even if you don't top it off with a powder, they're very long lasting. But I just rather be safe than sorry and make sure that my makeup will last. And like I said, especially if you are like the mother or the bride or the groom, you want to make sure that your makeup is going to last all night. You know, it seems like a wedding goes through like this, but it is several hours that you're going to be under, you know, you're going to be around people. They're going to be taking pictures. And you just want to make sure that you look as beautiful as you should. I'm going to grab a little bit of this eye primer. And this is the one that you can get on Amazon. They used to sell 3 for $9.99. Now you get 2 for $9.99. But they last forever. And when you got the 3, you got one that was super dark anyway. So it's one that I really couldn't use because it was very, very dark. But these are really good. As far as eyeshadows, I think that's probably the hardest thing to find in drugstore. If you go to like CVS or Walgreens or something like that. So I want to show you some options. I love the ones from Catrice. These are like $6.50 a piece. And these are so beautiful and such good quality. This is the palette Mocha. And this is, like I said, $6.50. They're absolutely gorgeous. I've shown some of these on my channel before. This is Cocoa. And this is a little deeper. But like I said, I try to go with something that is more neutral. I try not to go with light blues or greens or anything like that. If you want to do that, hey, it's your day, you do that. But this is just for me. I feel like a neutral color looks nicer on me. And then this one's from Morphe. This is the one that is Flickering Sands. This is also absolutely gorgeous. So that really pretty neutral or warm tones. There's also several eyeshadow palettes from Colourpop that I love. And I think they can make some really beautiful glam looks. This one is Deja Brew. And these are pretty inexpensive. These are like $14 a piece. That's Taupe. This is a little cooler. Going Coconuts. This has been, oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite palettes. As you can see it, this is well loved. I love this palette. It's so good. Okay, the one that I'm going to go with today is the one from Colourpop. This is Stone Cold Fox. And this is normally $35, but look at all the shades that you get. And this, in here you can find warm tones, cool tones, anything that you want to. You can go with pinky shades, you know, more like a black and silver smoky. I mean, there are so many choices here. And Colourpop has 25% off sales all the time. I also have a 10% discount code that is in my description box. Everything here is going to be linked below. And those links may be affiliate links. And if you use them, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. But anyway, this is a gorgeous palette. I use this a lot also. So what I'm going to go through today, I'm going to use this row. And if you can see the way that is set up, you can pretty much go down a row and create a look. So I'm going to use this row here, but I'm not going to use this brown. I'm going to use the brown on this row because I don't want it quite as dark. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush, and this is from Alter Ego. And I'm going to start with this shade right here. And that one is called Stranger. Now this doesn't have a mirror, so I need to get my mirror. And this one is going to be pretty high on my crease. I love getting ready for a special occasion because I take my time. I usually do like maybe a mask in the morning, you know. I really try to pamper myself that day and take my time doing my makeup. And I do steps that I normally don't always do. So it's a pleasure. It's I don't know, it's almost like, you know, just getting ready to have fun that night. And I just love it. I think it's so much fun to get ready for special occasion. It's just, I don't know, I really enjoy it. I'm going to use this brush right here. This is the M332 from Morphe, and I'm going to go to the shade that's right underneath it, this one right here, and this one is called Stone Age. And I always try to tap my brush so that I don't get fallout. And also, and I just went like a little lower than the other one. And also, I don't pack my brush a lot. I build my looks. You guys have been here, you know. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, and I hope that you decide to stick around. For those of you that are new, I do have a spot on this eye that doesn't like to take pigment. So if you see something there, it's not the eyeshadow. You know what? I went into the wrong eyeshadows. I said I was going to go in this row right here, but I went in this row right here. Not even close. What? I'm going to go into this one here. I'm just went off script totally. I don't plan my looks when I'm going to do a video. I never have, and maybe you can tell. But I just pick something up and go with it. That's pretty. Now I'm going to take the bigger brush that I started out with, and I'm going to blend. I'm going to take a smaller brush, more like a detail brush. This is also from Alter Ego. This is the 201. And I'm going to grab this darker brown right here, just on the tip. And I'm just going to apply it right here on the outer V. And then I'm going to take whatever's left over, and I'm going to take the brush that I was blending and blend the crease. I'm going to use this shade right here. And this one is called Baby Doll. I'm going to pick it up on my pinky, and I'm going to apply this on the lid. That is really, really pretty. I'm going to take the brush. I have been so unmotivated lately to be doing. I'm going to grab this one with that I used a darker brown with, and I just want to go over my inner corner, my outer corner, sorry. Right where I went over with the shimmer a little too much. I'm going to take this shade right here, and I'm going to put that in my inner corner. I'm also going to use my pinky, and that one is called I Dig It. Wow, look at that shade. That is gorgeous. Look at this, guys. That is blinging. Okay, I'm going to take this brush. This is a clean brush, and I'm just going to go over it because that's, woo, that is really bright. I'm going to take the shade that I used before, the one that I used in the middle, and just go over it. That's pretty though. Okay, I'm going to take a pencil brush, and I'm going to grab a little bit of that lighter shade and just do a little bit right there, my inner corner. That is really pretty. Okay, and this is the clean brush. I'm going to wipe it, and I'm just going to blend right there. The brush that I keep losing, the one that had the dark color, I don't have any additional product on it. I'm just going to go over the outer corner. I'm going to add a little product just because that shimmer is kind of over it, but that's okay. That's really pretty. I like that. Now again, you can use shades that you like. You may not like shimmer like this. You may rather use something that's, you know, maybe an all matte look. That would also look beautiful, but I love shimmer. And we need to wear what makes us happy. Okay, I'm going to take this Maybelline. This is an eyeliner. This is pretty recently that they released this. This is called this Sculpting Sticks, and it has like a little, not a smudger, but like so that you can line your eye with it. I was gonna say lip, but no. and it has like a slanted little point, and it's very, very easy to use. Now, I don't wear a lot of eyeliner. You guys know that. I hardly ever wear any. But sometimes, especially if it's a special occasion, I don't do wings. I can't do a wing. So I just basically do it from the middle of my eye to the end, and I make it a little thicker at the end. This eye is harder to do because I can see better with my left eye than with my right eye. So it's one of those, let's pray that it comes out okay. It's a little thicker, but let's smudge it in a little. This one came out better. So now we need to make this one a little thicker. And then before you know it, your entire lid will be brown eyeliner. Okay, and then I'm going to put just a tiny bit. I normally do not do eyeliner on my lower lash line, but I'm just going to do it super, super light strokes. And then I'm going to take the little brush to kind of smudge it, just to give me a little bit, a hint of brown down there. I don't want a lot. Eyeliner is pretty creamy, so it's pretty easy to use. Okay, this is my concealer brush, and I'm just gonna go over like right there. I'm gonna take the small brush right here. This is from, I think it's Profusion, and I'm going to take this shade right here and go on my brow bone, under my brow bone. And this is called Lux, L-U-X. And I'm just going to put a little bit there. So I recommend that when it comes to mascara, you use either a waterproof mascara. Now, me personally, I do not like waterproof mascaras. But before the 2B mascaras were introduced, I wore waterproof mascara when it was my kid's wedding. Because, you know, you're going to cry. You're going to, you know, happy tears, but you're going to cry. But now with 2B mascaras, I would recommend a 2B mascara. These are so much easier to remove than the waterproof. And yeah, I don't really think that, you know, some people do love waterproof, and that's all that they use because they say that their lashes stay lifted longer. And I have never liked waterproof. So that's just something that is not for me. I didn't even tell you what this was. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Sky Tubes, and it's really, really good. You can get it at Target or Walmart for like $11. It's like 10 something, just under $11. Or they do have it at Ulta, but you pay more. It's like $13.99 or something at Ulta. So I would suggest that you get it like a Walgreens or Target. I'm sorry, Walmart or Target. Save a little more. Amazon may have it for less money also. So let me do 2 coats of my mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to use a little bit of setting spray. This is the one from Catrice. And now this is, I told you guys in another video, this is very, very heavy duty. It will drench you. So do not use it straight on your face. Spray a large, oh wait, okay, I just realized that I got a little bit of mascara, so let's remove it. Okay, so on the brush, and just go over your face. Now this one doesn't have alcohol, I believe. Oil Control Matte Fixing Spray, hydrating, pore minimizing, and it's alcohol free. Now, normally I would use something like probably the L'Oreal, the 3-second one. That one has alcohol. I don't use something like that all the time. But for a day where you want your makeup to stay, or you can use the one size one. That one is a good one. That one will keep your makeup on. I think it's called Until Dawn or something like that. Yeah. So for a day, a special occasion, I would definitely use something like that. Now also, once this dries, I would put a little bit of finishing powder. In the meantime, let's do our lips. Now for lips, if you like liquid lipstick, go for liquid lipstick. That way you know that it's going to stay on your lips and you're not going to have to worry about it. I am not a liquid lipstick fan. I will use them once in a while, but I'd rather be comfortable and I don't mind reapplying my lipstick. So I like to wear something that is going to be long lasting, but also something that I'm going to feel comfortable wearing for a while. So I'm going to give you some examples of the ones that I would wear. Now I'm not going to wear this one today because all the ones, the new ones from Morphe are amazing. These have a gloss, they're shiny, and they look beautiful, and they're very long lasting. However, I don't have any shades that are not super dark. So I'm not going to wear one of these, even though this one is not so dark. So that one would have worked. This one is in the shade Whipped Together. But these are really, really good. You have the shine, you have the long wear time, easy to reapply, and they look beautiful. But also the ones that are very long lasting, they're really comfortable, and they're easy to apply are the Color Stay Satin Ink from Revlon. These are like $9. These are a little less expensive than these. I believe these are $15. But these are also really, really gorgeous. They also are glossy, but they are long wearing. They're almost like a liquid lipstick with a gloss. So these are the 3 shades that I have. They're gorgeous. I'm going to use this one. This one is called 005 Silky Sienna, and it's this one right here. I'm going to use this lip liner from Essence, but if you want a long, you know what, I'm going to use this one instead. If you want a long-lasting lip liner, you can get the Revlon lip liners are really long-lasting. The LA Girls are really long-lasting. The Morphe lip liners are lasting. Maybelline, very long-lasting. The Catrice, so there's plenty. If you have not tried these lipsticks, you should. They're so, so good. They're so comfortable. They're not sticky at all. They feel like you have a gloss on your lips, but they're very thin. As you saw how quickly I was able to cover my lips. Long lasting, absolutely gorgeous. Again, this one is in Spicy Sienna, but it has like a little bit of pink in it. So I love it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so let's finish the blush. Let's put a little bit of powder blush on. I'm going to use this brush right here. This is from Alter Ego. They created a line of brushes that are imitating the BK Beauty and Jihad and Flashy. They look very much like them. So I'm going to grab a little bit of the powder right there, but I'm going to go very lightly. I don't want it to be a lot on my cheeks. Again, this is like a fine, you know, line between too much and then not enough that it's not going to show up in pictures. That is beautiful. This is one of my favorite. I have 3 different Morphe trios, and this is my favorite one. I think it's so beautiful. So, so pretty. So, so pretty. I love that. Sometimes I like to do this, kind of like tie in the blush with the eyeshadow. But look how pretty that is. And I don't think it looks like too much. I think it looks just gorgeous. So again, this is in the trio After Party. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm not going to do anything with the bronzer. Maybe on the forehead a little bit. Just a tiny bit of the powder bronzer. I'm going to wipe that brush and use the same one. And just a tiny bit. Just to set my forehead. I don't really want to add a lot more color. And just to sit under my chin. And that's all I'm going to do right there. Okay, now as far as highlighters, I have 2 of them that I really love to use for an occasion like this, where I want a little bit of glow from within, but I don't like highlighters that are super bright that you can see me from the moon. That's just not me. So the good old Essence Pure Nude highlighter is amazing. It is gorgeous. This is one that is very subtle. It's been around forever, and it's like $5 or less. This is so gorgeous. Now I built it up there, So it's going to show a little more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do one on one side and a different one on the other. And then the other one is the L'Oreal Lumi Le Glow. And these are also gorgeous. Now these are more like a balm. It's right there. So it's a little more gentle to me. It just looks like almost like your cheek is a little wet, but that doesn't even sound like a good description, because I don't want my cheek to look, oops, I don't want my cheek to look wet. But I'm going to grab the Le Glow with this brush right here. I'm just going to grab a little bit, and I'm going to put that on this side. I don't think I grabbed enough because I can't see anything. I'm just trying to be careful because I don't want to put a lot on there. Okay. As you can see, it's just a gentle highlighter. And I'm just going to go over with the blush brush. And then the other one, brush right here. This is from Dalton, I think. And we are going to apply a little bit of this one. And this one they have it in different shades. They have another one. I think this is the original shade. But they have another one that's like a light pink that is gorgeous. But this one, as you can see, is also, it's not too much. This one to me looks a little more natural than this one, but it's still pretty. I think it's still pretty. And sometimes I apply my highlighter before I apply my blush, so that you know it's easier to blend. But I think that's really nice. Okay, so now we're going to apply a little bit of finishing powder, and I grabbed this one from CoverGirl. Now this is really pretty, and I'm going to just use a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to go lightly over it. I don't want a lot of it because this powder is not as finely milled as the Hourglass, so you know, but it is blurring though. I'm going to give you guys a close-up. I mean, you can still see my pores. You know, they're not going to go anywhere. I have large pores. But they look pretty good, if you ask me. So I just want to mainly put some powder where I get the most oily. And I forgot today, but I normally put a little bit of concealer on these lines right here. And it makes it look a little brighter. Let's see if I can put a little bit on it now and not mess anything up. I usually definitely do it when, just a little bit. And I take my concealer brush. I'm going to take my foundation brush. But it kind of makes it, you can still see it, okay? I mean, it's there. Can't hide it totally. So let me finish with the powder. So I'm going to set that now. And I'm not going to go over the blush because I like the little bit of glow that I have there. I think it looks pretty. All right, you guys, so this is it. This is my completed look. Now, my lips almost, they look red on camera, but it's not red. In real life, it's not red. It's like it's like a pink with a little bit of brown in it. But looking at my monitor, it looks very red. But that's okay because you guys know me. Let me try the other lipstick so you guys can see. This is the lighter lipstick. Let's do this one. Let me see if I can take a little more. See, it's like it stains your lips. See? You have it like a stain. This one's going to look darker because of what's underneath it. But isn't it nice the way that it stains your lips? So that's going to stay on your lips forever. Not forever. It's going to stay on your lips all night. And even if you have to reapply, they're easy to reapply. And it's not that kind of lipstick that you have to remove the whole thing and reapply it totally. You just need to do like the center of your lip. But that is pretty. It looks darker because of the stain underneath, but I think that looks pretty. Still looks kind of orangey red on the monitor, but I promise it's not. All right, guys, so this is a close look to what my eyes look like. my makeup, what it looks like, and you can still see some of my spots, but there's only so much that I can do to cover them. But I know that this makeup is gonna hang on and be there all night long. So how I would finish this look is with my favorite perfume, and I didn't bring one with me, but I would suggest that you absolutely would finish it off with your favorite perfume. So I truly hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it fun, that I gave you some good ideas if you go into any weddings, whether even if it's not one of your children getting married, but if you just invited to a wedding and you just a guest. To me, this is just an easy look. It is not, you know, the eyes are pretty neutral. The lips, you can go lighter, you know, but myself, I never wear a nude lip. But, you know, this is not red. And like I said, it looks a little redder on the monitor, but I promise you that it's not. But anyways, I love the way everything turned out. All of these products that I showed you are products that I totally recommend. You probably own a lot of them, and even if you don't own this palette, you probably own a palette that you can create this look with, because this is pretty neutral, pretty common shades. All right, you guys, if you have any questions whatsoever regarding any of these products, let me know in your comments. Also, if you still want me to do a high-end mother of the bride, mother of the groom, or wedding guest, let me know. I'll be more than happy to play with my high-end products, because yeah, I love those too, and I have a lot of pretty ones. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here, spending some of your precious time with me. I really enjoyed creating this look for you. I love you guys, and I will see you on my next video. Bye guys. Mwah.